back once again, and Chicago as we do even in New York. Occasionally we forget to put on the microphone.
Got to keep the equipment warm.
Not many of us these days get a chance. Oh, wait a minute.
We'll be talking about his life as an actor and as a person, because there is a difference. Jane Pauley is here, too.
And she is a person as well.
I'm glad to have that certified and out before us. We'd all suspected that. Nice of you to confirm it.
My pleasure.
I think that people know that she is Jane Pauley through and through, that she doesn't wear one mask in the morning or one mask in one interview and another in another. She is at the center, just rock solid.
Oh, wow, that's cool. That was a clip from a 1989 tribute to Jane Pauley on her last day. That was cute, as host of the Today Show. With us now to talk about her latest project, Emmy Award-winning journalist Jane Pauley. Jane has two specials about baby boomers airing tonight on RLTV. Boomers 2.0, a generation reimagined, and also Rethink 50+ Town Hall. We'll talk more about that. I can't believe
in a second,
you're here.
Boomer schmoomers. Let's talk about this
I
first.
love her.
This is amazing.
And you two together.
You know
Well,
what, Tom, also, that was very kind what you said. Just we could replay that over and over again. That would be fine with me. But Tom once was quoted in the Washington Post as saying that Jane was very realistic about her deficiencies.
Isn't that? Wow. Isn't that a nice way of saying you're transparent and real?
This was true.
No,
but it's true. I'm a Midwesterner, and I'm very realistic about my deficiencies. And as I have grown into my maturity and my boomerness, I'm also more realistic about my strengths, of which I have a few.
Hold on, I got to ask Jane a question here, Tom.
Yeah, he's in charge.
Is Tom realistic about his deficiencies?
Oh, God, no.
That's a good question.
Be honest.
Tom has no deficiencies.
That's why we got
You just answered it.
Let's be real.
All right, Tom, you can ask her.
The deficiency thing only came because she moved to New York and rented an apartment in the old building on the Upper East Side that was made of blue bricks.
Yeah, I have no trouble with that blue.
Blue brick.
Yeah. But you found it for me, and then he found me a boyfriend who I later married. 30-something years ago.
Well, it was actually Meredith who said, "You think Gary's hanging around your office because he wants to be your pal a little more?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so." She said, "No, it's all about Jane."
I think the miracle is that the miracle is that I had a more than 30-year career at NBC.
Right.
I'm still here at NBC, though I have to stop at the Visitors Center and get a guest badge.
Come on.
But I'm still here at NBC, and if you had told that 25-year-old Jane that she would still, at 62, be anywhere near a camera in high definition.
Yeah.
You know, but I do now. Here I am talking about a boomer special on RLTV, partnered with AARP. I do a series on the Today Show monthly about reinvention, people 50+, and
there you go.
we're still the cool kids.
You actually really are. How long did you two co-host together? How many years was that?
5 years.
Just five years.
Really? So is that the breaking
like
point?
the Beatles.
Is that the breaking point? Is that
longer.
when you can't take it anymore and just wondering because we're at 5 years?
I went 13.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, she stayed on.
No, we're talking about with Tom.
No, just
Couldn't
as
take
a
me.
pair.
Couldn't take
had to
it.
leave.
5 years.
Well, he abandoned me.
Right.
He abandoned me.
No.
Is that what happened?
We had a great run. I must say, you know, everything evolves, and in those days, and from 1976 when we began until 1981 when we left, there was a lot going on in the world. There was the election of Ronald Reagan, and the Pope got shot, Sadat got assassinated.
Now I would move aside, and I would occupy a little stool over in the corner, or if I, to let Tom do his thing, or if I was there, my role was to put a log on the fire because this is the best ad-libber in the business. But if he ran out of gas, I would just give him another log. And he would,
it was a true team effort, and we had Gene Shalit as well.
I hear you on that.
And it became a real family thing. We went through a difficult period. Ratings went down for a while. We got back to first place, and everything worked out fine. But it was kind of take on the world every morning. We had maybe a third of the staff that they now have on the Today Show, and we didn't have the backing of the network. Was, as I said, a little chaotic at that time, but we got through it, and we got through it together because you were doing 2 hours every morning side by side, Jane was married to Gary at that point, and my kids are growing up, and so you go through a lot of experiences in life. And I think the audience tunes into that. They kind of watch it.
Yeah, morning television is. I mean, my friend, you were mentioning that I was going to be here yesterday. You know, suddenly my text lights up. You know, so evidently a lot of people in my demographic are watching you, which frankly is why we're doing the special. The whole point of it. Well, the whole point of it is that for a while advertisers kind of ignored us. We went off a cliff. 18 to 49 is the sweet spot. I think that was stretched to 18 to 54, which I'm history with that number. But between 50 and 60, we own 75% of the wealth in this country. Boomers spend $2 trillion a year annually on consumer goods. We are 4 times as likely to buy a tablet as a 20 to 29-year-old, primarily because we have the money. We're very much on the internet. 3/4 of us are on the internet. A third of us are heavy users. We use it to buy, to shop. We use it to stay connected, with community and so forth. We are still very engaged. One of the guests on the town hall program that's on tomorrow, the 2 programs between 8 and 10 on RLTV, one of the guests said that boomers are quickly moving from making money to spending it. And they have money. So
and power as a result.
And power. So we are changing things for everybody for the better, because I've been proclaimed, in fact, the only credential I have is that Costco magazine called me a reinvention evangelist. But that I am. But no one's going to be talking about reinvention 50 plus after my generation. They will take it for granted. That that retirement is something you move from something to something else. That will be taken for granted. So, Gen Xers turning 50 in 5 years. Did you know that? Yeah. In 5 years, the Gen Xers will start, welcome aboard.
The thing is, these numbers that you use, 50, and 50 doesn't mean what it used to mean. I remember my mom turned 40, and she thought, and everybody thought, the world was coming to an end.
Yeah.
Things have changed so dramatically. You talk about the demos, 18 to 49. Phil Griffin talks about this all the time.
It's a shrinking demographic, Joe.
It should be, instead of 25 to 54, it should be 35 to 64. Boomers are going to spend their money.
Yeah, but the 18 to 49 is what the CBS network executive put it, who does research. 18 to 49 is a shrinking demographic. Every year it is getting smaller. Why would you deliberately pitch your programming to a demographic is shrinking?
It's shrinking, right.
It used to be, as I was going to say, at 40 was a benchmark for women that we didn't look forward to, and I think that is extending for sure.
Well, get me back, and I'm going to be, 70s.
70s, it's not looking bad.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm 73.
Today?
It's his birthday.
It's his birthday. We need a birthday cake.
Well, I was actually back with some high school friends a couple of years ago in our hometown. We're all the same age. And at the end of the evening, I said to them, who do we remember when we were 18 in this community who was a 70-year-old male, because we were all 70 plus? We could name one guy. Everybody had died by the time they got to 65, 66.
Wow.
So this life extension is having an enormous impact. It also, as we were talking about this earlier, it does create the bulge in Medicare and the social services that people have expectations for, and what health concerns that we have, and that has to fit into.
But what you don't what isn't factored into that, and I'm not policy and I'm not an economist, but what I do know is that if boomers, those who are not being hammered by the recession, I know yesterday that's what you were talking about, which is a reality, but a lot of us are still engaged in the economy. We are still producers. We're not just takers, but we are still producing and contributing to the growth of an economy. And I don't think that's kind of factored into people's expectations that we suddenly are going to start being, plugged up to machines and sucking money out of the economy.
Well, that's why I think it's so smart that if producing programming that appeals to a demographic that is important, powerful, rich, and engaged. So then My next question would be...
Why high definition? That's all I...
Exactly.
That's
What the hell? Okay. What do you think of morning television?
Very dynamic. The Today Show that Tom and I used to do, they talk about New York being the city that never sleeps. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
We would arrive in a very quiet city. 30 Rock, there was no one here.
Yeah.
They maybe had polished the floors, but the floor polishers were gone. Today, it's so alive. Segments are 3.5 minutes long. It's like, riding a bike in rush hour traffic on the FDR Drive. It is, I don't know how the stamina to be a host on the morning shows is. It's very, very,
the cycle never
very
comes
different.
to a close.
And it's a much bigger, a bigger audience that Americans are still the most productive on earth. We get up early, we go to work, we work late, but I think morning television has always been the freshest, most dynamic part of television. The fact that my friends tell me that you're talking yesterday, people are there. They're really watching.
We're talking about it all morning.
So many things have changed. I told them I had a crush on you growing up.
I know, I heard that.
Yeah, there you go. So, but the thing is, everything's changed.
You saying you got over it?
No, I never said that.
Okay.
What did you did? I'm sorry. Do we have any tape from yesterday? Ever say I got over my crush?
He did not.
Okay.
No.
I can confirm.
Okay.
But everything changes. We talk about how baby boomers are changing. It used to be advertisers would say, we're not going to try to talk to anybody over 54 because by 54, 55, they start saving money. Their spending habits don't change. That's totally changed. And part of that has to do with who boomers are. Boomers grew up believing they had a God-given right to get whatever the hell they wanted to get. That doesn't stop at 64. They're going to be spending
is our DNA.
money. They're going to be spending money till the day they die.
Yeah.
And also, you talk about other habits too. It used to be my family would stop at 6:30 and would watch the evening news. People work through that now, and the biggest shock, we went to Phil early on and said, we can't do the 6 a.m. stuff anymore.
Oh,
it's garbage. And Phil threw the numbers at him. He goes, that's when the most people watch you.
Yeah.
That's when the most influential people watch you.
Yeah.
It is your most. People get up so early now. They start working early. They work late.
At home. They're on their treadmills.
All of these things that we assumed we knew about boomers and about the economy.
In news,
completely changed.
The news demographic has always been, 50 plus.
Right.
The news about that is that there are just so many more of us.
Right.
But we are getting our news. I love the newspaper. Tell me how much I have to pay you to keep delivering me this.
Right.
But I also get news all day long, as everybody else does. Streaming. You keep checking for the refresh. Right. So, but we're the demographic that's eating that stuff up.
Yeah.
But also, somewhat, my children have more in common with their parents than my generation had with their parents.
That's the big change, is that we are so much closer to our children than we were to our parents.
For
how we dress and how we see the world and what our interests and tastes are, and how they call you 9 times a day about everything that's on their mind, the children calling the parents.
Yeah.
Meredith and I left home. We loved our parents. They were important to us. Never called back to say, what do you think we should do about buying a house or taking a job or having a child?
Or where'd you get those glasses?
Yes.
Exactly.
Love your glasses, Pop. Where'd you get them?
Mrs.
Really
Brokaw insisted I change my glasses.
Oh, they're great.
Not surprisingly.
They're great, but who wouldn't like that?
There you
Exactly. Who wouldn't like that?
Yeah.
You can catch Jane Pauley on back-to-back shows, starting with Boomers 2.0 at 8 p.m., followed by the Rethink 50 Plus Town Hall discussion. That's tomorrow on RLTV, also a network that's created in response to the growing power of this demographic. So, Jane Pauley, it is
Thank you, Jane.
so
Thank you, Joe. Thank you,
to
Micah.
meet you and have you on. Tom, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
You're
Thank you very
perfect
much.
because Jane said so.
And great for you.
Exactly.
Otherwise, I wouldn't believe it.